And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like this, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
So they didn't run from the elephant in the room. Jerry, Dak, they all talked about contracts. Talked about how hard it is to get things done. They didn't get anything done. Oh, yeah, I mean, they sat around in the California sunshine. Mike McCarthy was there, Jerry, Steve. They all had nice sunglasses on. Good eyewear. Nice, all different cowboy hats. Selling their different apparel. You feel better, though? Of course you don't. Good morning. Maybe you feel better about this. It's Friday. Taco Friday. That's a different thing. The Olympics open today. Maybe that makes you feel better. Opening drive maybe will make you feel better. Maybe you don't need to be made to feel better. You feel pretty. You're like, dude, I feel fine. I feel really damn good anyway. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
You all right?
I
Lots going on, dude. I mean, we had a no-hitter yesterday. Did you catch the end of the no-hitter?
saw the highlights.
So I was on a Zoom call about 1:20, and I had to get out at 1:30 for a 1:45 appointment. And dude on the Zoom call goes, Dylan Cease about to throw a no-hitter. And I'm like, what? And I flipped over the MLB channel, and I caught the last 3 outs. And it ended just in time for me to get out in time for the meeting. Like, I caught it live. It was really cool. Never get to catch those. That's one of those you always find out later. It was really cool. I don't know if people understand how good Dylan Cease is, and we'll get into that. JJ, what'd you hear when you heard Jerry and Stephen Jones and Mike McCarthy and all of them talk about contracts and this year? And you think Cowboy fan feels any better about it?
Not at all.
Of course not.
The Dak stuff makes no sense to me. The rest of it.
Which part of the Dak stuff? What he said?
What Jerry Jones said about Dak Prescott.
Right.
That makes no sense. When he's discussing that, Dak is going to be their quarterback and he's all in on Dak and yada, yada, yada. And yet you have this giant issue hanging over your team with the cap hit next year, the cap hit right now, the challenge of signing players because you didn't work anything out with him. So he's pretty much telling you that, Mike McCarthy you got to prove it to me that you can win in the playoffs. But yet he's in this position with Dak Prescott that they didn't want to do anything contract-wise to help the team, whether it's moving forward or right now, and the offseason of being all in is the offseason doing absolutely nothing. And it really feels like the Cowboys don't have any idea just what they want to do other than, well, if this team wins, we'll pay everybody. If not, I guess they won't.
And that doesn't make anybody feel better. And there was so much gum running and nothing that's happened. To your point, the off season of being all in was the off season of being all nothing. And I firmly believe, JJ, that Jerry believes what Superfan believes, like what Omar believes, who texts us all the time about the Cowboys, that because they are the Cowboys, because they are the Dallas Cowboys and they have the star and they have the mystique, whatever that means, the Dak Prescott is going to be around next year. That was really a lot of what I heard from him yesterday. It always works out. We always get them done. They always stay. I mean, isn't that kind of what you felt a little bit?
Yeah, the stuff with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, you understand that those are going to be franchise players. So waiting, especially on CeeDee Lamb, doesn't make much sense to get a deal done. But when you have Dak Prescott and you didn't want to work on an extension, whether or not it meant giving him a ton of money or just anything to help alleviate something over the next 2 years, and yet Jerry Jones says, I do not think that this will be his last year with the Cowboys at all. And you're just like, oh, then what is your plan? Kind of what are you doing? If you want to put him in the same place with Mike McCarthy and say the reason we haven't done X, Y, or Z is because playoff success, go for it. But he's just sending so many mixed messages. It's the absolute exact thing you expect from Jerry Jones. That's why no one will trust his franchise to be able to take a step forward, because this offseason, this feels like there's some pretty easy decisions to make with some of these franchises.
Kind of.
And they haven't made any decisions.
So Jerry said he's not worried about it. He's not worried about the ambiguity that comes with it, is what he said. I'm not afraid of that. Quote, I'm more about winning the award for the best way to end the season than I am winning the award for showing up at camp with my house in order. I'm more worried about ending this season than I am a fast start. I take a lot of solace in the fact that we've had 12-win seasons. The wins we've had over the last several years, the fact that we've got the personnel we've got here at camp, the coaches we got. I take a lot of solace that we're going to be there to get a chance to go to the playoffs and be better, end quote. Okay, great. And you can take all the solace you want, and it doesn't make a trophy. It doesn't win you a Super Bowl. It doesn't get you your quarterback back. And I thought Dak Prescott was really, really interesting in what he said. He talked about the other guys, and he talked about his money. He talked about CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. Quote, those guys definitely need to get paid, need to get their money. He said, I've gotten a contract. So the last thing I'm going to ask them to do is take less. But this is a two-way street when you're talking about contracts. I've gotten older. I got a decision in this thing, so it's not just one way here. Well, I thought that was really interesting. I mean, he's acknowledged, look, man, I got decisions to make too. This ain't all about them. They may come to me. I mean, the way I heard that, they may come to me and offer me a contract. I may say, yeah, no, I'm good, man. This is a two-way street. I may go somewhere else. Like he said, he wants to stay with the Cowboys. He said he's got an obligation, end quote. That was his quote, to other quarterbacks and his teammates on what he accepts. That means he can't take less because somehow that would bring the market down and that would hurt other quarterbacks in the market and his teammates if he takes a team-friendly deal or takes less than what he believes to be market value. Right? So he's getting paid. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers has been traded. There's no reason that Dak Prescott can't leave the Dallas Cowboys. Quote again, Prescott. And this was a big one from him. I want to be here. But when you look up all the great quarterbacks I've watched played for other teams. So my point in saying that is that that's not something to fear. That may be my reality one day. It may not be my decision. So that's the freedom that I have, is to be where your feet are. Make the most of it. Be confident in yourself. Make your team better. I love my teammates. I love that locker room. And I love everything about being here in Oxnard, about being a Dallas Cowboy. So that's what allows me to be free and focused and understand that in time, who knows what comes, end quote. I mean, that's a dude saying, look, man, I'm here. I'm well compensated. And if I'm here next year, that's where I prefer to be. I hope it works out. But, man, I'm going to get paid no matter where I go. And if I got to go make a fresh start, so be it. And that's the way it is. I mean, that's what I heard. I'm not afraid of it.
That's exactly what he said.
Well,
being open to change. And it's fine. I think there's a lot of Cowboy fans that are like,
go.
Yes, move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been there, done that. You have all this hype surrounding a quarterback and good play, and no one cares about good play in the regular season. This league is about competing to win championships, playoff success. It has not been there for the Dallas Cowboys, and that's why you're in a situation with Mike McCarthy, with Dak Prescott. And I think Dak would be more open to a conversation about his contract in terms of not having to get $60 million if it was CeeDee Lamb and then someone else. And we signed Derrick Henry, and we're going to do this for you.
Then he'd take $54 million. Yeah.
Them just sitting there going, we're good. Well, we got Zeke back, so
yeah. Well, whatever. But I mean, your point's really good. If he knew that they took care of the guys that are going to make him better, that may help him win a Super Bowl, and he's already gotten a contract, as he said. So instead of getting 60, he may take 55, right?
Yeah. Like, these are the market is not going to go backwards because guys have gotten paid. Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, you name it. And you have to, even if the dude says no, if you're an organization that wants to surround these guys with talent, those are conversations you have to have. And if they come back and say, no, I'm not going to do it, or they say, all right, well, you get one good weapon, and then we have to figure it out.
Yep. All right, Cowboy fan, let's go. You're up today, man. You're up. 505-246-0610. Jerry spoke. McCarthy spoke. Dak spoke. CeeDee Lamb's not there. Micah Parsons needs to get paid. Where are you? You feel better? You feel worse? You want to puke? And I want to know what plan B is. And I got to believe after all these years, they've got a plan. Tell me they do. That if Dak does leave, they're going to do what? And there's a part of me, JJ, and I don't know why I think this. There's nothing that he said. There's a part of me that thinks Jerry is sitting there thinking Trey Lance is our next guy. We stole Trey Lance. And again, I'm not sure I think they stole Trey Lance. But this is kind of what I'm wondering if he's thinking. We got him for a fifth-round pick or whatever we gave up. And there's a ton of talent there, and he's sitting there, and I've seen him in camp, and he throws a great spiral, right? He throws an unbelievable football. Because what is Plan B? There's no way you're going to convince me, or maybe you will, that their plan is, well, Dak decides to leave, or we decide to not give Dak top of the market money, so he leaves. And then what? Then what are you doing at quarterback? You're not going to be bad enough where you're getting Shedeur Sanders or somebody at the top. You may think you're trading to the top of the draft. But then what? Are you going out and what's the free agent market next year on quarterback? Most of the good ones are signed. Like, there's got to be a plan B, doesn't there?
Well, the plan B is not always going to have an answer. Sometimes you just go into
the
opposite.
There better be a plan. Dude, you can't go in blind.
You don't know what veteran quarterback's going to be on the market.
You have an idea. No, you kind of do. You know what contracts are. You don't know who's going to get cut or released, but you have an idea what contracts
just
are.
Say we're starting over.
Okay, so what does that mean, though? Does that mean I'm going to the draft?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't know exactly who any of these guys are going to be drafted.
Okay, but that's a plan. Then if that's a plan, that's fine.
They're not going to tell us that now before the season starts. So, by the way,
if Dak leaves,
we're
going to do
the
that.
season, and we're just drafting a quarterback.
No, I agree with you. But like, what do you think the plan could be, right? And it could be, all right, we're starting all over, and that is total ambiguity, right? Which he said he's not afraid of, and I'm fine with that.
Viking.
Yeah, right. They brought in Sam Darnold and drafted a quarterback. Okay, but with that roster that he thinks is ready to win now, I mean, when are you ever going to win? And he's made it pretty clear, dude. He's 81 years old. He wants to win pretty quickly. 505-246-0610. Cowboy fan, let's go. Opening drive. That's the Sports Animals phone line and our text line. Your emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. On the Twitter or the X, it's _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, the OD and the AM, you can watch the show there. Adrian produces on ProView Networks, Xfinity Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico, and on our Facebook page, and on the ProView Networks YouTube channel. We're going to get through some global football camp today, the baseball stuff yesterday, the Olympics are going. I don't know, JJ, you want to hear from Troy Calhoun today about 9 o'clock? Does that work for you? Nick Neal join us at 8:30. We'll get you a golf tip, talk a little golf, and then Air Force coach Troy Calhoun at 9 o'clock. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ, and y'all on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
It's kickoff.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on?
Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Players getting paid and the extensions that have not been given to Dak and to CeeDee Lamb and to Micah Parsons, the Cowboys. You got to coach that's sitting there in the last year of his contract too. And I mean, I don't know, you define lame duck when you know the end is there, when you know the president is out on January 20, when you know that this is the last year of a coach's contract. I mean, that's kind of the definition, right? Jerry says it's an opportunity for Mike McCarthy. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. So this is the third consecutive time, JJ, that the Cowboys have let their head coach play out his contract. Jason Garrett with the Cowboys went 12-4. 12-4 in 2014, if you believe in numerical stuff. 2014, they were 12-4. And despite a playoff loss to the Packers, that year Jerry gave him a 5-year, $30 million extension. That expired after an 8-8 season in 2019, and the Cowboys parted ways with it. Jerry was asked why Mike McCarthy did not get a contract extension. After a third consecutive, I mean, JJ, they've won 12 games 3 years in a row. I know almost every franchise in the league would be thrilled with that, right? And Jerry's two-word answer was Green Bay. I mean, if you don't think that game mattered that much, and don't you think if that game goes the other way, Dak's got a contract too?
Yes.
I do too. And Jerry's not hiding from it. And this is, at least he's admitting what we all see. You know, sometimes people try to tell us, you know, you're not seeing what your eyes tell you. We all saw it. He said, quote, Mike has shown me that I want to have him, and he's qualified, and he's excellent, and the players are excellent, and he's shown me that he could be our coach for years to come. He sits next to me in the draft. I really call him a lot. If you can't get along with Mike McCarthy, you can't get along. That's fine. The bottom line is he didn't win in the playoffs. And I don't know that I necessarily have a problem with him saying that. There was a stat. I'm trying to find where it was. Colin Cowherd did this yesterday, and Edwards sent it to me. And Colin Cowherd kind of hit this yesterday. Winning in the playoffs is really, really hard. And if you look at guys who didn't have Mahomes or Brady in the playoffs, coaches, and it's not coming up for me for whatever reason. The coaching records, Don Shula was right around 100, right around 500. Mike Tomlin's right around 500. All these guys were right around 500 who did not have Mahomes or Brady. And Mike McCarthy's right around 500 as a playoff coach. And I guess it doesn't matter because at some point you got to win now, right? You got to win soon. But you have a problem with him saying, look, that's it. That's the reason.
No, because I think that's what so many sports fans want is accountability in the postseason. I do think, again, and I'll continue to discuss this, the talking about quarterbacks is broken because only one is going to win a championship every year. But I think when you look at the Cowboys, they don't even have that postseason run. They don't have that championship game experience over the last 2 decades, where
almost 3.
It's close and say, all right, we're on the right track. It's been 28 years since even an NFC championship title game experience. And that's what changes the conversation is you need to have good players to compete in this league. But when you are then taking a step back, looking at what Dak Prescott is going to require, Jerry Jones it's come to a point where he's sitting there and said, I've been to an NFC championship game, and yet I need to
give
have
this guy
3 guys on my roster that are going to become the highest paid players at their position right now.
Yeah.
I think this is going to work out.
Do you think Mike McCarthy's a good coach?
Yeah.
I do too.
You don't, like, for as bad as people think the Cowboys are, and Jerry Jones messes everything up, like, winning double-digit games in the NFL
regularly on
a consistent basis is not easy.
All right. Mike McCarthy's playoff record. Do you have any idea what it is? And Colin Cowherd did this work, and this is really good stuff that he did on the Colin Cowherd Show, which you hear after us each day here in the Sports Animal. Do you have an idea what Mike McCarthy's playoff record is?
Well, as you mentioned, it's probably around 500.
It's 11-11. Okay, you're like, well, that's not very good. All right. Do you consider Mike Tomlin a better coach than Mike McCarthy? Do you think most people do?
That's probably a fair narrative out there.
All right. Mike Tomlin is 8-10 in the playoffs. Now, he's won 2 Super Bowls. McCarthy's won 1. But again, Mike McCarthy 11-11. Mike Tomlin 8-10. Is John Harbaugh, Ravens, considered to be a better coach than Mike McCarthy by most people?
Yeah.
John Harbaugh's playoff record is 12-10, 1 game better than the 11-11 of Mike McCarthy. Mike Holmgren was really, really good, 13-11. Is Sean Payton considered to be a better coach by most?
Okay. I'll also say, how long did Mike McCarthy have Aaron Rodgers for?
The majority of his wins, I would guess. So you're saying that's an Aaron Rodgers? It should be.
Well,
but Aaron Rodgers didn't win.
I
wonder what I'll find you Aaron Rodgers' playoff record.
That's what I'm saying. And so I think that's why I think Mike McCarthy is a little underwhelming.
Well,
you look at John Harbaugh. John or Jim? Sorry. John. Would you say that John until?
I mean, he's got Lamar Jackson, a 2-time MVP.
What do you do with Joe Flacco?
Won a
Same
Super
thing
Bowl.
Mike McCarthy did with Aaron Rodgers.
Damn, this keyboard is the worst thing ever. Literally the worst keyboard I've ever had. All right. I kind of work with that a little bit. But, I mean, John Harbaugh's got – what do you think Aaron Rodgers' playoff record is?
Close to 500.
He's 12-10. Yeah. He's 12-10. Sean Payton's 9-8. Don Shula, one of the best ever, 19-17. He had Marino and Greasy.
Winning in the playoffs is hard to do.
Pete Carroll, 11-11, same as Mike McCarthy. Mike Ditka, 6-6 in the playoffs. Tony Dungy, 9-10. The point is, and Colin Cowherd did all that work, and his staff did. And the point is, it's really hard to win in the playoffs. Now, does that mean you should keep Mike McCarthy? That doesn't in its own mean you should keep Mike McCarthy. It's just a little bit of context for you as you go on. And you say, well, yeah, well, I mean, he's got a great – everybody's got a good roster, man. Now, should they have gotten pantsed by Green Bay last year? I think that's a fair answer. When Jerry said, why didn't he get a new contract, Green Bay, if you want to tell me Green Bay had a better roster last year, it's a really hard one to believe. And they came in and kicked your ass. Right?
And this is, and you know what, I'm not, when it comes down to it, I don't think it's the worst thing to have people with some pressure on them going into the final year of their contract.
I agree. And it's not like college where you can't recruit. Well, I don't know if the coach is going to be here. I mean, it's not that. So, all right, 505-246-0610. You're starting to ring the phones. Cowboy fan, let's go. I don't know if that helps you with perspective. Do you think is Mike McCarthy a good coach? Do you think he is? I think he gets a bad rap partially because of the way he looks. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, he's a heavier, not the best presented coach. He doesn't look like a Zach Taylor, one of these young, Mike or Sean McVay kind of a guys. Middle-aged, heavy guy, disheveled a little bit. He's a damn good coach. Is he great? I'm not going to tell you he's great. I think he's a good coach. And his numbers go up against the guys that you think are really good coaches. The guys that I didn't mention are Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. Those guys had Mahomes and Brady. It's a different story. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by Chili Tradition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
Oh, real proud of you, honey.
Way to make him happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
To worry about.
Yeah.
And I'm not in charge of security.
Yeah.
So I don't
worry about the details of security.
Like, that's just a stressor that I don't.
Yeah, you worry about what you can control. I mean, that's fair.
Like, do bad things happen in events? It's entirely possible.
I'm more concerned about that damn rock ding I took on I-25 yesterday. The spider webbed my window. Yeah, that because I can control it.
This summer.
That was so
outrageous.
Remember I told you
and
that?
by the way, the week after we got it replaced.
Yeah, you got another one.
Another one.
Yeah.
Just this one wasn't the size of a dollar bill like the first one.
Yeah. No, I took one on the way. It just, damn, dude.
There's stressors in all our lives.
Yeah.
There's things to be concerned about.
Safe Light Repairs, Safe Light Replace. Are they a sponsor? I don't
Sign
know.
them up.
Yeah, they should be. All right, 505-246-0610. Cowboy fan, we've been talking about your team. Omar says, in Coach Jones we trust. Jeff, it doesn't matter what the pieces are. As long as we have this guy, nothing is going to change. My expectation for the NFL's most outstanding organization is we will be competitive every season. It's from Omar. Omar, is that your expectation? And I don't have all your emails over the years. There's been a lot. Wasn't your expectation always to win the Super Bowl, not to be competitive? Is that the Dallas Cowboys' expectation, to be competitive every season? Because they are competitive every season. They won 12 games the last bunch of years. They are competitive every season. Is that the expectation for that franchise? I don't think so. But I don't know. All right. There's a lot of other football stuff going on. A lot of other football stuff. So I kind of liked Justin Fields getting the first shot, because Russell Wilson's out in Steelers camp. Russell Wilson missed the first training camp practice. He had a tight calf. So the Steelers have named Wilson their quarterback, but Justin Fields got the first team snaps on Thursday. And Fields was really, with the media, it was good to get back out there, knock off a little bit of dust, definitely trying to take advantage of each day and each rep I get. Just looking forward to getting better tomorrow. I'm on to Cincinnati. But JJ, I firmly believe out of all these quarterback situations that are somewhat competitions or somewhat tenuous, like, I firmly believe by week 6, Justin Fields is the guy there. Now, does that mean he is for the next few years? I don't know, but
if wins a playoff game, then yes, the opportunity is there. Because when I look at what Pittsburgh wants right now, yeah, Justin Fields is exciting and he's flashy. They just want consistency.
Okay.
And I think Russell Wilson's season last year, like if you put that season on the Steelers, that's exactly what they're looking for. So if he plays like that, why would he bench be?
Is that enough?
Yes.
Well, okay. If he plays like that, is that enough to win?
On that team with the way they play, yes.
And with that schedule, I mean, they start out Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, Colts, Cowboys, Raiders.
And every division game, regardless, is going to be.
How do they not have
17?
Dude, they don't have a division game for the first 8 weeks. Like literally till November. They don't, and in that division, and then the back end, obviously, they play Ravens, Browns, Bengals, Browns, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. I like the back end is where all their division games are. Is everybody like that? Can't be all like that, right? It never is. Yeah, I mean the Cowboys aren't like that. They played Giants in Week 4, although they're heavy on the back end too.
It's been more of a trend.
Okay, almost like a non-conference and conference like for college football. That's interesting. I don't know that I think that when you say just be consistent, is that enough? Is that going to win for the Steelers? Is that going to be enough to do what they want to do? Now, one of the guys I'm really interested in this year, and I wish I would have held him in my fantasy league because I had him for cheap and I got rid of him, was George Pickens.
Yeah, I think there's also an element of kind of what kind of weapons do the Steelers have.
Right.
They traded Deontay Johnson in the offseason. They have solid guys,
right,
but Pickens has to be the guy that has some more of those explosive plays because also I'm looking at Justin Fields and what is so exciting about Fields in that offense. Just because he can run?
Here's my feel on him. I've seen flashes, not consistency, and I kind of feel he was more, and maybe I may end up being wrong. I'm not as convinced as I am on other guys. I want to see him in a system, and I don't know that this is it, but at least it's something new where he has a chance, right? I never really felt that he was given the opportunity to be good, put in the right situation. Now, look, I could end up being totally wrong on this one, but I want to see him get a fresh start. That's a guy that, to me, there's a ton of talent there. This isn't like a Zach Wilson thing to me, right? A guy that was drafted high in the draft, just like Justin Fields was. Was it the same draft? Might have been.
It was 2020.
Right? Not just because he was drafted high, but partially because he was. He's got first-round talent. I just want to see it. I feel like I've seen Zach Wilson get a couple of opportunities with different coaches, different opportunity, different places, different personnel. To me, good luck to that. This one, I guess I want to see round
Zach
2.
Wilson and Justin Fields are the same quarterback.
Very, very much so. Very much so. I just don't know that I feel that. I think Justin Wilson has had the full chance. I feel like Zach Wilson has. Zach Wilson last year he had another opportunity to go out there and prove it with better personnel, and he just didn't. So, look, this one I might end up being wrong on. I've been wrong before. Most famously the Matt Leinart thing. I really believed in Matt Leinart as a pro, and I just couldn't have been more wrong. I don't know. He excites me way more. And the other part of it is I just don't think Russ has much left. I just don't. And I don't know the players buy into him. But that's when we'll see. But I'm pretty convicted on that. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails are coming in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. I want to talk some college football. We hit on this yesterday. We're going to do it more when we come back. USC and Lincoln Riley at Media Days the other day said, we're playing from behind. And I know you found that interesting. I found it interesting. What does that mean that SC is playing from behind? With all the money that they've got, with all the resources that they've got, how the hell is USC playing from behind? And we'll tell you what their head coach said and give you his argument laid out for you and see if you believe it. May I suggest you call On the Spot Automotive Detailing? Have them come out and detail your car. It is one of the coolest things. They come out while you're working, while you're doing whatever it is you're doing while you're busy. And they're outside, they detail your car. And that means inside, outside, they wash it. This is like, it's brand new. This is what all the car dealers do. They detail vehicles. Remember when you first bought your car, how great it was to be in it, how it felt, smelled, looked. That's what they do for you. And your vehicle is one of your biggest investments. You probably should take care of it. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is best in the city. They won that because they are the best at what they do. They also offer window tint services. And in this heat and in this environment and in this city, window tinting is a big deal. They're a certified 3M dealer. That means they're the best product on the market. You can also ask them about the ceramic tint. That blocks 99% of UV and infrared rays. Keeps your car feeling cool and looking cool. So you can get the professional tint you need at On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Book their services. Take a look at what they do. It's all right there, and it's a great gift. A great gift. It's otsdetailing.com. It's all right there at otsdetailing.com, or you can call them at 505-859-2859.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit International Protective Service.
We're going to hear from Troy Calhoun, Air Force. I think you'll enjoy this one, too. I'm not going to play these back if I don't think you'll enjoy them. I know I say that all the time, each one of these, and they're all kind of different. Troy is the veteran coach in the Mountain West Conference, Air Force Academy, and talks about New Mexico, talks about the bases here, talks about it's a different approach, and I think you'll like that. Coming up at 9 o'clock, and Nick Nee at 8:30. USC was at the Big Ten Media Day. Their first Big Ten Media Day after, a century in the pack, whatever. Their head coach is Lincoln Riley. And JJ, this is one that I think we all went, wait, what? So USC, when you think of the high budget, high resource, can do whatever we want athletic programs, don't you put USC basically in that without diving into the numbers, without the facts, right? Without the data in front of you? You always kind of go, all right, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, probably Oregon, right? Texas A&M, and SC, right? Did I leave anybody out? Maybe. Penn State, maybe. Lincoln Riley said we're playing catch-up. We're playing catch-up in facilities. We're playing catch-up in NIL. We're playing catch-up in resources within the program. We've been playing catch-up in damn near every way you can think. This is a quote. And you kind of go, wow. All right, they got the number one pick, Caleb Williams, for the last 2 years. They've won 19 games in 2 seasons. They got to the Pac-12 championship game in 2022. Utah beat them. Then they lost to the Group of 5 qualifier in the Cotton Bowl at Tulane. They were embarrassed. Last season, they finished 2-5 down the stretch after 6-0 starts. I don't know if you've ever been to their campus. I don't know if you're familiar with their alumni base. There's a lot of money at SC. Now, go ahead.
I'll say this is one of those things, if you hear and Lincoln Riley, USC, is trying to lay the, woe is me. If we only had more of this or that, then the rest of the country's sitting there going, what are we supposed to do if USC's playing from behind?
Yeah. The one I'll give them is their facility, right? And you're like, well, dude, the Olympics are going to be there. The Olympics, the Coliseum is an old, antiquated facility. Like it's legendary in some respects, but it's not on your bucket list. The Rose Bowl might be, but and by the way, the Rose Bowl is not a fun place necessarily to watch a game unless it's the Rose Bowl. Well, the Coliseum's old, dilapidated. It's in a crummy part of town, but that's where SC is. It's right next to SC's campus. I don't know what they're going to do about it. It's kind of SC football at the Coliseum. But, JJ, their facility's on campus. Their campus is unbelievable. The amount of money that they've got, alumni base, it's hard for me to sit here and woe is me about USC.
Lincoln Riley is just trying to build a little bit of a buffer because that's also not going to go over very well for the USC supporters.
Is that him trying to buy himself another year or two if they don't win? Because they're picked 4th in the Big Ten this year. That's the preseason polls. Look, I don't know where they're going to be. It sounds like Oregon's the best team there. Penn State sounds like they're pretty good. Michigan's the defending national champion. I can't believe they're going to fall off the map. Illinois looks like they're pretty good. Maryland might be good. I mean, Washington. Oh, didn't Washington play in the national championship game last year?
Yeah, this is one of the preseason talking points that shake my head a little bit. They're already trying to put out a safety blanket. It's Big Ten. We're playing from behind.
Yeah. I know. Roster sizes is a big thing. How many players? And what about walk-ons? Dabo Swinney has thoughts on walk-ons. Could college football soon say, if you don't get a scholarship, there's no more walk-ons? Is that good? How many guys have gotten opportunities at walk-ons? It's the opening drive at 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports App.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot! Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet! Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running.
It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Opening drive on opening day of the Olympics. Good morning to you, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. An update on the attack in Paris. It's been attacked. Why is it sports related? Because it's opening day in Paris at the Summer Olympics, and it's going to rain, first of all. But there was a the main railways, the big high-speed train lines were attacked. There's over 800,000 travelers who were affected by this trying to get in. They said it was a calculated, planned attack. They don't know who did it, but it was certainly, the Prime Minister calls it an attack on France. And so they're looking into this, but it's heightened a lot of security concerns there, and they're really trying to figure this thing out. But just hours before the Summer Olympics game torch relay is over, and they light the torch. The opening ceremony begins. France's high-speed train lines were targeted by malicious attacks, including arson. It's been described as coordinated sabotage to disrupt travel into Paris. Olympic organizers are telling reporters and news sources that the ceremony will go ahead as planned. Rain's threatening to disrupt the festivities, but no changes have been made to the ceremony plan. So the opening ceremony is going to be held along the Seine River. It's the first time the ceremony has not taken place inside a stadium. The Parade of Nations will take place on the river itself with boats, JJ, carrying thousands of athletes through the center of Paris. More than 320,000 spectators are expected to be in attendance. That's capacity. They slashed the capacity because of security reasons. So that's what's going on. And I'll watch this just because, it's big. But, yeah. Rod says, can I be Troy Calhoun Jefferson? Troy Calhoun's the Air Force coach. Well, we can't go out and get a bunch of mercenaries like everyone else in our conference. We can't go out and give big NIL deals. We'll be lucky to win a game this year. And that's pretty good. That's a good Troy Calhoun. Well, Jeff,
fantastic Troy Calhoun.
Yeah. Jeff, he's another one who calls me by my name. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. And yet he goes out and wins 10 games a year. Yet they go out and they continue just to be unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah, you could be Troy Calhoun. All right. One of the other big issues you're going to hear out of college coaches, there's a big, and I didn't realize until I went to the media days, JJ, how big of a topic roster sizes has become. And there is a proposed move to reduce roster sizes, increase scholarship numbers. And the number that I had been hearing a lot on roster size, 105. Whatever that means. And you're like, why do I care? Well, I don't know that you do. But Dabo Swinney, the Clemson coach, sounded off on this proposal. The scholarship increase in college football. The current scholarship limit is 85, but programs are allowed to carry up to 120 players, including walk-ons. That's why you see two guys wearing number 4 and two guys wearing number 5, and one on offense, one on defense, right? Under the reported terms of this House settlement, programs would be permitted to provide scholarships for all 105 players on the roster. The new scholarship rules would also apply to other sports. So Dabo Swinney said that's great for baseball, soccer, and some of the other sports, that you take 11 scholarships and spread them out amongst 30-some guys. But for football, the unintended consequences is basically eliminates walk-ons. There's no coach who wants that. End quote. I think that's right, dude. I think eliminating walk-ons, every program's got a couple of great stories about walk-ons. Every one of us knows a dude who walked on to a college football team and had an unbelievable experience. My daughter's going to walk on the rowing team at Michigan, right? I mean, honestly, I don't know where the solutions are, but Sweeney said this is the most united the coaches have been in the history of football. It's so frustrating. And he was talking about a player who walked on to Alabama's team as a freshman.
That was him.
And that player was him.
So these are the ones that...
Yeah.
If I'm looking at Dabo Sweeney, and he wants walk-ons, I would say, what is so wrong with having a discussion, maybe give those kids a partial scholarship? You have the money to do that.
Well, what he's saying is
you have to keep walk-ons. Why? Because it's a cost-saving move for you.
Well, it gives you numbers. It gives you practice squad players. Towards the end of the season, teams are beat up.
105 people on the roster.
In his words, he said, and I don't know if this is right, he said teams would have had to forfeit their bowl games last season if the proposed rule had been in effect because they wouldn't have had enough players. I don't know if that's right. I honestly don't. He says, I think you'll see the transfer number go way up because you only travel about 80. That'll be a lot of football players not getting to play. Again, and the walk-on program is what disappoints me most. Kids just want to be a part of it. They want to come help you practice. And practice, it saddens me that it's probably going to go away. And so maybe you jump the number to 115? You can have some walk-ons?
I don't know what he's complaining about. You can't...
The 105. The limit at 105.
And he just said it. We'll only travel 80.
No.
And so you can't have it complete a season with 80 players in your roster if that what the number ended up being.
NFL does it with more games at 54, right? 55? I know.
So this is one where is it just a money issue? What are they complaining about?
He said you got to tell kids in January they can't play football anymore. So that's the hardest thing. The money's crazy, but we'll deal with that. But telling a kid that's been on your team and done everything that you can't play football anymore. All right, some guys don't make the team. I mean, it's just part of it, right? Some people just don't make the team.
So you're upset that you just can't keep a bunch of dudes around the practice that will never travel,
but want to be part of it.
But just still want to be on your team so you can run them out there.
I imagine. Yeah, I imagine. Look, all I know is I did not expect, especially Big 12, how many people we're talking about roster sizes. Kyle Whittingham said 120. And then he said, nah, you know what, 122. I think we have 122 lockers in our locker room. That way nobody's got to double up. I went over to Texas Tech. He said 105. 105 seemed to be the right number. But yeah, Kyle Whittingham was funny about that. He's like, we have 122 lockers. So, 122 is our number. That way nobody's got to double up. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Good morning. What's lost in all of this is Title IX.
Well, it's not lost. It's just lost in this particular conversation, but it's not lost in the big conversation.
But let's take UNM, for instance.
Yeah.
That has enough trouble complying with Title IX because, according to the numbers, UNM must spend 52% of its athletic budget on women because that represents the population
the student
at
body.
the school.
Yeah, the student body population.
The student body is 52% women.
Yeah.
So they have to spend 52% of that money on women's athletics. You add 105 scholarships instead of 85, and it's UNM. There's a ton of schools in their situation, a lot more that are in UNM's situation than, for instance, Michigan's situation. So it's a bad idea. It's going to force a lot of schools to, I don't know what you do to make up the difference, Jeff. I mean, we had sand volleyball at UNM to make up for numbers, right?
Yeah, but that's
so you're going to have these meaningless sports just to.
Yeah, meaningless. What is meaning? Wait. What does meaningless sports mean? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, how much interest was there in sand volleyball at UNM?
Okay, I'll go with non-revenue. I'll tell you that I mean, how much publicly, how much around town, not any more than there is in women's tennis or anything else, right? I mean, but it means a lot to those athletes.
Women's tennis has a longer track
history.
record.
I'll give you that.
And it wasn't created for purposes of Title IX compliance. compliance like some of the sports that were added under Paul Krebs were.
Fair enough.
And so I just think that at the end of this trail, it is all about money. And anybody who says it isn't, yeah, Dabo Swinney can sit there and say,
no, he said it's about
the
money.
later.
No, they're all saying it's about. They all know it's about money. I don't think anybody's even hiding from this anymore. I don't think anybody's even hiding it.
We have to. It's time for some limits on how much you can spend on your athletic department.
No, that's not coming.
And it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
so where are you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know where we are. We're going into a great unknown, and I just think that it could be the demise of college athletics.
Well, I'll tell you where you are. I'll tell you, and first, help me. How big is rowing a meaningless sport at Michigan? I need to know this.
Michigan has more sports, and it's probably not meaningless because you can throw a rock. You've been there. You throw a rock, you hit water.
All right.
So
just want to make sure
it's not as meaningless. I mean, could you imagine rowing at New Mexico? Where would you even practice?
In the Rio Grande. Elephant Butte. All right, so here's the issue. The programs like New Mexico in this league, they can't compete with the Michigans, but money is an issue. And whatever the rules are going to be set, Big Ten, SEC, everybody's going to have to decide at what level they want to play. And Rudy, I think where this is going is whatever the new Mountain Pack, whatever when the dust settles on this next round of realignment here in the next year and a half, what UNM and its peer institutions are going to have to decide, can they and are they willing to meet whatever the standards are? And I believe the way this will go is there's going to be a set of standards. Your budget has to be X, your academic has to be this, your commitment to resources has to be this, and there's going to be a checklist of 10 things. And you're going to have to meet 5 the first year, 7 the third year, whatever, to be in this league. But there's going to be a minimum commitment, I believe, on your budget, and either you can play at that level or you can't. And then there's going to be a bunch of other checklists in regards to facilities and commitment to student athletes.
Here's the unfairest thing of all. Do you think that Northwestern is really a big media player in Chicago? No, but because they're in the Big Ten and they get that Big Ten TV money, they're able to do things, and that's the most
unfair thing. There's a lot of them. Iowa State, Wake Forest. I mean, you can go through a lot of these smaller marketplaces that don't compete at the level, but they've been there. Washington State and Oregon State were hanging on for a long time until they're not.
Yep. So there has to be some fundamental changes, I think. If not, and if it's just the wild, wild west from now on, and you can spend whatever you want, and you can do whatever you want, some schools are going to rue that decision, and they were some of the ones that pushed this decision
I agree with
on
that.
other schools.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, man. Let's see.
Okay, take care.
I mean, he's not wrong on this, right? There's been a lot of schools that have been kind of fortunate historically. They've been in situations that they are. You know, he can name Northwestern, Washington State, and Oregon State were that for a long time, right? Now they're not. I don't know where it goes, man. I really don't know where it goes. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails this morning, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Catch up with Nick Nee coming up at 8:30 this morning. We'll get you a golf tip, talk some golf with the director of golf at Sandia. And then at 9 o'clock, Troy Calhoun, the veteran head coach for football at the Air Force Academy, is going to be with us on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Meyer here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them.
Today, he's got a little something he's got to do, so we'll do that next week. 505-246-0610. Come on in today. Cowboy fan, want to hear from you on what your head coach had to say, and your quarterback had to say, and your head coach had, or your owner had to say yesterday, because there was a whole lot going on there yesterday. Let me give you a little clarification on Rudy's call. Rudy just called, and we were talking about the scholarship limits in football and what's going on. And this will help, I think. You currently have 85 scholarships, okay, for football. Expanding or taking the roster limits to 105 and going with this, the new proposal would allow you to spread your scholarships to 105 individuals. So everybody would not get a full scholarship. Some would get partials. So the reality is they don't have to have everyone on aid, right? There could be guys that are still, I guess that would be considered a walk-on. And there's still some conversation about the possibility of having some additional people working out prior to the year and being a part of the team, but not on the roster once it starts. I don't know if that helps you. You know, you can be there for camp. You can be around the team, but you can't be on the roster. You know, once the season starts, does that help at all? Does that help you understand it a little better? Not really. Okay.
You know, roster limits are going up across the board. It's not just football. And then so you're going to have to answer the questions about scholarships, full, partial, money for all the programs.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And you can get in 505-246-06. And how about this? Since Nick's coming on 8:30, you want to talk to Eddie Nunez about it? UNM's athletic director?
Yes.
All right. Eddie Nunez is going to join us at 8:30. And I think maybe he'll make it a little bit more clear than I am, that we are, about where this thing's going. Because I think, you know, Rudy used the word, it's the demise of college athletics. And I don't know that I think it's the demise of college athletics. It's change doesn't mean demise. Change means change. And does it affect a school like New Mexico differently than it affects a school like SC or Michigan? Yeah, it probably does. But again, I don't know that I believe change means demise in that regard. So, but Eddie Nunez will be with us. We'll do that at 8:30 this morning. So coming up in about 8 minutes, and we'll let him walk through it. And because obviously he's been in on a lot of these conversations. This is really cool because hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Come out. Don't be afraid. You can touch that thing and you can move it to where there. Okay. See. It's like, you know, it's a skillet or a beer or a how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Good. Jessica is here. She's the general manager for our sweet deal today, Neighbors West Side Bar and Grill over on the west side. You're familiar with it. We got a sweet deal going. It goes live at 9 o'clock this morning. You go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com, click on the sweet deal icon, and for just $25, you get $50 worth of Neighbors, which is kind of the spot on the west side, is it not?
Yes, it is.
You guys have become the deal, actually, and I know you've worked hard to do it. For those who haven't been to your spot, let them know where it is and how cool it is.
All right, so we are, of course, like you say, we're on the west side, so we're like the main bar over there.
Main bar, dude.
We are the only bar with 82 tops of beer, like all of them.
Like all of them.
Yes.
So you'll go from like Michelob Ultra all the way to your darkest, thickest, yummy.
Yes, we're from domestic to
that's the better way to say it.
Yes. That's in the way that people know.
That's the way to say it, yeah.
Yeah, so we pretty much carry all the brands that we have, locals and, of course, domesticals. So we're the only bar who has that. And, of course, we have a full liquor bar.
All right. So so I've got you drinked. How about eating? I mean, is the food any good?
Damn, what I can say about the food.
Damn.
Appetizers, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Or nachos, that's our best sellers.
Yeah.
And of course the burgers, the wings, and now the management changed. We're having a lot of things coming up on the menu, new things coming.
Yeah.
So the food is really, really good.
All right. It's a Scratch Kitchen. It's just 2 blocks north of Unser and I-40. Neighbors West Side Bar and Grill, and a lot of entertainment. And I know everybody, you watch the karaoke. How much better are people after, I don't know, a couple of cocktails in them? They think they're way better. I know they think they're way better.
It happens a lot after 3 beers.
Is 3 the magic number?
3 is the magic number.
So 3 beers and all of a sudden everybody can sing.
Yes, if you want dancers, after 5.
Oh, the dancers go after 5? Damn, dude. All right. And karaoke night is Wednesday night. Music. They got bands the 3rd Saturday every month and just a variety of dishes from their Scratch Kitchen. Don't forget the 80 plus. What is it, 83? Is that what you told me?
Yes.
Beers on tap?
We have 83 all on top, domestic, to all the crafts.
And you got the patio, which is, everybody loves the patio, especially this time of year.
Yeah, we have the patio and we're pet friendly. So you guys are more than welcome to bring your pets. And of course we have some rewards for all those little.
Nice.
And those bigger ones too.
Nice. All right. It is Neighbors West Side Bar and Grill. It's 2 blocks north of Unser and I-40. It's our sweet deal today. Go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the sweet deal icon. And at 9 o'clock, it'll go live for just $25. You get at $50 to spend over at Neighbors. That's $25 worth of free Neighbors. You'll enjoy it, and I know you'll have a good time because I was just told here, they are the bar on the West Side. Jessica, great to see you. Thanks for coming by this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, when we come back, Eddie Nunez, the athletic director at the University of New Mexico, is going to be, and we're going to talk a little bit about this and the roster limits, and he can explain it a whole lot better than we have. And we'll get into a few things with Eddie. His football season is less than a month away at UNM. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Thanks for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction
Safety Company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Download the KNML app in the Google Play or iTunes App Store. Just search KNML.
A lot of changes. I think this is just going to be the way it is. It's the way it is in your life. It's the way it is in college athletics. Change doesn't mean demise. Change isn't always bad. Geddy Lee said a long time ago, changes aren't permanent, but change is. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. We're talking about roster limits in college football and where it should be, and got kind of down a rabbit hole. And this will help you clear it up, because a guy who's way more versed in it than either one of us will help you with this, and maybe some of the other stuff that's going on. Eddie Nunez is the athletic director at the University of New Mexico, and I appreciate that because I know you get a lot going on, especially this time of year. A few minutes of your time. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How about yourselves over there?
Life's grooving. It's exciting. We're inside a month from football season, and just trying to figure some of this stuff out. You know, I spent a lot of time with many of your colleagues at Media Day.
Yep.
And then the coaches and roster limits was one of, I guess I was surprised how big of a topic that was. Help explain the conversation we just had with roster limits seeming like they're going from football to 105, and that would increase the scholarships. What does that mean for walk-ons, and how would that be constructed?
Well, I appreciate it, and I know you mentioned you going down a rabbit hole. I think you went down a crater more than anything else, because this can go in so many different directions. I think when you were, Media Day, it was a lot of speculation about where these numbers may be, and they were pretty close at that time where we expected them to be. I think the reality is they're trying to have some resemblance of expansion of scholarships, of opportunities, but at the same time understanding that as much as coaches would like to have 105 scholarships plus another 40 walk-ons, the reality is that can't happen. And then, what Rudy said earlier, and I was fortunate to hear a little bit of it. He mentioned about Title IX. That comes a part of it. So the happy means, I think, in all these, when you talk about football, baseball, volleyball, softball, men's basketball, all these additional opportunities that they're presenting to those teams, it's scholarships. They can, instead of being a one-for-one scholarship where you're giving a student athlete one scholarship, it's more like
a full. What
we've seen, it's equivalencies. So you can give somebody 80%. Well, they might be able to get also some state, some academic stuff, some state tuition. There's other things that may help alleviate this, so that money can go a little further than just a traditional scholarship.
So what you're saying, if you let's just say you recruited a player from Albuquerque, and you gave that person an 80% scholarship, you could make up the other 20%. The student athlete would still be covered, but part of it would be coming off of a state, the lottery scholarship or something like that.
Yeah, you have academic scholarship, lottery. We're in our state, we're fortunate that there's a lot of opportunities that are available. That's the reason why you see success in sports like golf, and you see sport and the tracks of the world, because they're able to spread that wealth out a little bit differently. So every school is going to have this challenge, is figuring out, is it better, is it worse? How can we maximize the opportunity without stepping over the threshold of Title IX or anything else, being able to provide it for both? But I think the reality is, walk-ons are still going to be there. I mean, currently you had 85 scholarships. Now you have 105. So you have basically 20 other spots that you either could fill them as scholarships in some way, or you can still continue to have walk-ons. So there is what you mentioned, and that you brought up a great point earlier on as I was walking in the office here after our meeting this morning. They had that you mentioned something in regards to this will also have opportunities for student athletes or others to participate and maybe work their way into that 105 roster for the next year or the next year. So there's going to be some nuances that we're still trying to figure out. The one thing is we have something now that we, instead of just throwing stuff on a wall and trying to see what sticks, now we have something that we can target and try to work towards.
Let me ask you a question. Eddie Nunes is with us, the athletic director at UNM. So Title IX, and I want to talk about a rabbit hole to go down, but to somewhat simplify it, it means equality and opportunity, but not necessarily in resources. Is that correct? Meaning there has to be the same amount of opportunity for female athletes as male athletes. But as far as compensation, as you start to get into that realm, it doesn't have to be, or does it?
Well, I think that's what the millions of Title IX lawyers right now are foaming at the mouth to be able to figure out if this is going to be the lawsuits that come down the road for college athletics. There's too many ways to interpret this, but I think that what we try to do is we try to keep it as balanced and as equal as you can. It's not dollar exactly for dollar, because the reality is some sports are, a little bit bigger numbers. Traditionally, certain student athletes eat more than others, so it's just not dollar for dollar. It is making sure you provide every ability to make that experience what it can be. So you're not limiting them, you're not taking away an opportunity from them. So instead of saying we're going to spend $100 on men's basketball, well, we only need to spend $80 on women's, and it's because maybe they eat differently or there's something else. So it's about providing the opportunity, not exactly dollar for dollar.
Yeah, and so it is opportunity as opposed to necessarily resources.
Eddie, we've heard the last couple of weeks with media days, these coaches voicing their concern, their frustrations with certain things, and then a word that we always come back to is they. Who is they? Like, who are you guys looking at? Is it the NCAA? Like, who is making decisions, or what could those decision makers look like in the future?
Well, unfortunately, sometimes I'm that they, because I'm I'm part of the Division I Council, and we're tasked at times to make determination and decisions at a high level. But where we talk now, I think when we're talking this subject in particular, you're talking about those that are in those discussions with the House case, which is really the NCAA plus the Power 2 and potentially the Power 4 and those individuals that are negotiating at a high level right now what that settlement will be with the House case. So those are part of the nuances that we aren't all privy to, the ins and outs. I mean, we get a high level, maybe interp from our legal counsel at the conference level, but more than anything else, it's really not the NCAA right now. It will ultimately, whatever is agreed upon, will go to the council, which is what used to be where everything would go. This is going a little differently. It will probably come back. So they is anyone who can give us answers right now. And it's unfortunately 1,000 ADs out there in the country from Division I to Division III are probably looking around saying, somebody please provide us some kind of guidance.
Eddie Nunez was us on the opening drive, but you look at it and your team's still practicing. The coaches are working, they're recruiting. How's this the overall vibe with athletics, even with the challenges that we all talk about all the time?
A change is evident. I mean, it's going to happen. That's part of not just the world we live in college athletics, but just in general. And so I think, for the one thing, there's extreme excitement right now going around our department. First of all, football started yesterday. They're flying around. It looks great. Broncos got those guys really in a great place to get the season started. Our coaches are eager to get this year going. Do they have questions? Absolutely. And I referred to this the last time I think I was on with you guys, is I'm approaching it very similar to how we did COVID, where you have to communicate with your coaches. You have to have a lot of conversations. You have to have understanding what their concerns are. So we're having those conversations. We're going to continue to have those conversations. We're going to continue to look at different things. But the excitement between what we've been able to accomplish, not just over the last 6-7 years, but this past year alone, you talk about fundraising, everything else. You talk about where the NIL is right now with our collective and the 505 Sports Ventures and what they've been able to do, our Lobo Club. All those things are really putting us in a position where there's a high energy. Now, people ask me, are we going to compete? Are we going to be able to do a rev share of some sort, some model? Well, we're planning on it. Now, what does that mean? Might be different than what Michigan, Florida, Alabama, somebody else may be able to do.
USC even, who's playing from behind.
Yes, we want to do what we are capable of doing, but we want our coaches to understand we're going to look at every possibility, and it's going to probably mirror more of what the Mountain West is doing today, or what they'll do. But that's our approach right now.
In that vein, I'll let you go because I know time's of an issue. Moving forward, whatever the merger, reverse merger, Pac Mountain, whatever it may look like, it sounded like the conversations I had, certainly with Gloria and other people, there may be some sort of a model where you can opt in, but there's going to be criteria. And one of the criteria will be athletic department budgets, but there will be other commitment to facilities, whatever the list will be, and you're going to have to meet X number of these. And you can opt out and say, we can't do it, or absolutely we're in. And I know Lobo fans really concerned about that. I asked Gloria about that, but from where you sit, because I hear Lobo fan, and I know you do too, are we going to get left out of this? And I know your answer is no, we're doing everything we can to make sure we're a part of that. And how do you respond to that? Because I know you get that almost daily.
Yeah, I think if the same approach I took when I first arrived here, we're not going to be stagnant. We're not going to stay here and just be stagnant. We're going to keep moving the needle as much as we can. So those benchmarks that you're talking about that we're going to have to be able to hit financially, facility-wise, towards our student athletes, all those different levels are going to be extremely important to us, and we are already trending towards those benchmarks already as we are today. So we're close. Now we need our fans, we need our state, we need our institution, we need everybody to understand this is not going to happen just with athletics alone. This is going to be everybody coming together. If we want to sustain that level, it's going to need everybody to help us not just get there, but keep us there. So that's where I am. I know we're going to be able to be there. I know we're going to be able to do it at a high level. We just need everybody else to believe and continue to come support our student athletes now more than ever.
Yeah, what I'm hearing is, I mean, you are committed to hitting whatever those thresholds are, whatever those criteria are, whatever those benchmarks are, to make sure that you are included in that group that plays, or whatever that level, that the top institutions in your league, because Bronco talked about the top of the league. He says we're not. He says we haven't been, but we have to be.
He's that exactly. Look, we've been the top when it comes to academics. We've been the tops when it comes to number of conference championships. Actually, San Diego State beat us. I think they're beating us by one now, which we're going to get that back over the last 7 years. To me,
football,
we have done it at a high level. Yeah. Now with football going the trajectory that I know it's going to go, plus everything else we've been building on, there's no reason why UNM should not just be in there but should be one of the ones leading the pack.
I want to do this in detail if you get some time before football season, maybe the week before the season starts, maybe come in for, and let's do one of those, because there's so much that I want to get into that as far as the meat and how you get there. But I appreciate you doing this on such short notice and really helping to clarify a conversation that we weren't clarifying very well. So thank you for doing that.
My pleasure, man. We'll talk soon. You guys have a wonderful weekend.
All right, be well. You as well. And thanks for jumping in. He's Eddie Nunez. He's the athletic director and the vice president of athletics, I believe, at the University of New Mexico. Because that helps. And the last piece is what I really want to dive into with Eddie. And how do you get there? How do you make sure that you're going to be able to have the resources to make sure that when whatever happens with this next phase of realignment, that you are where you want to be with this, that you are aligned with the institutions with whom you want to be aligned. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. You can respond to what you just heard on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
All right, thanks to Eddie Nunez for jumping in and helping with that. Emails and texts are coming in. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Text and phone line is 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. JJ, the text line says walk-ons are critical, it says, to many programs. Oftentimes you'll see an overlooked high school player prove that he deserved a scholarship all along and be rewarded one. After UNM's first practice day, the end of the day, Coach Mendenhall's last order of business was to award walk-on David Murphy a scholarship. This sent the locker room into a frenzy because over the past 2 years, Murph has been a walk-on. Through his incredible work ethic, he's proven to be a leader that every player has come to respect. Inarguable. And Eddie was saying, look, this isn't eliminating walk-ons. It's just going to look a little different. There's great stories of walk-ons, man.
There is.
Always
but there's
are.
also, why not have those guys be partial then?
Yep.
There's ways to do this where it's not eliminating it and you have to be like, well, what was us? We actually have to give the kid a little bit more money to go to school.
Where the snap's going to come from, says Mean Machine. I disagree with Nunez, he says. You can expand roster to 100. You can expand to 150. The biggest issue is in Title IX. There are still only 11 guys that could be on the court at once. Games are 60 minutes long. Coach can't go to the refs and request the game be lengthened to 80 minutes because instead of 85 scholarship players, he now has 50. He has to find enough playing time to keep everyone happy. I wonder if you're even serious with that. Maybe you are. There's guys who don't play. There's guys who know they're not going to play. They want to be part of something. Now, the guys who think that they should be playing will go find somewhere else. They'll get in the portal. That's a whole nother story. Those guys will get in the portal and go somewhere else. That's why you see guys on rosters littered throughout the Mountain West, Conference USA, of guys who played at Power 4 programs because they were on rosters at Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, USC, TCU, Arizona State, Colorado, who felt that they should be playing there that weren't and came to the Mountain West and believe they got opportunities to play here, right? I mean, that's everything else. That's your same email on basketball where the ball's coming from, Jeff. They got 16 dudes and only 5 can play and he only plays 8. Yeah, that's right. That's what competition is. That doesn't bother me at all. And I think everybody knows what they're getting into when they sign up, right?
Yes, they do.
I mean, that's the least of my concerns. Then there's different issues. They got at Air Force. Troy Calhoun's always an interesting conversation. He's the veteran coach in the Mountain West Conference. He's the longtime Air Force coach. He's going into his 17th year, JJ. Had a good conversation with him. You'll hear that when we come back. The challenges and what he thinks of New Mexico. He's got a lot of thoughts, man. This is a different Troy Calhoun conversation. Oh, yeah, he talked about we may not win a game and we're not very good. Yeah, I told you. Then I'll probably go out and win 10. And there's always that in the Troy Calhoun stuff. But he's I know I tell you all the time, I think you're going to enjoy it. I wouldn't play him back to you. And there are some that I don't if I didn't think you'd enjoy it. It's the opening drive. Troy Calhoun's next on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
so that no child goes without love.
and no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, what's up, Friday? Olympics start today. You had a no-hitter in baseball yesterday. Clayton Kershaw was back. Dodger fan, you got to feel good about that. And we're inside a month before college football starts. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. I'm going to let you listen to a conversation I had with Air Force coach Troy Calhoun. So Air Force picked somewhere, I think, 3rd or 4th in the league. But another big season last year. They've been on a great run. And he's as good a coach as there is. Don't you think, like, his name's up for jobs every year, and he keeps staying at the academy because it feels like him, doesn't it?
Well, I think that's actually why his name's not up for jobs.
Well, his name's up for a lot of jobs. I mean, he doesn't go deep into the finalist rounds
because they look at no.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. His name's up for the jobs until you get down to you carve it down. He's like, yeah, no, I'm good. He's done an unbelievable job there. Talk to Troy about a number of things. I think you'll enjoy this conversation with Air Force coach Troy Calhoun. Are you and I the longest running guys here now? I mean, is it the two of us, you and me, been here the most consecutive years? Good to see you, by the way.
Yeah, you too, Jeff. If you wouldn't know any better, there were 2 things you could depend upon year in, year out. Yet I'll tell you what's awesome is I think neither one of us ever take it for granted, how fortunate we are to be here, to be a part of college football, and to try to do everything we can to help the young people that are involved with this game.
No, I promise that's right. You look around that coaching room yesterday in your 3:30 meeting and probably had to introduce yourself to a few people. It's, the stability of the league is interesting because there's been no movement in membership since 2013, which is insane in college athletics now. But yet 7 new coaches in your league, and it feels like it's a pretty positive thing.
I believe so. I mean, you're right. There's been a good little 12-year run here that I think's been that's been healthy for the conference. Now, I don't think anybody assumes or realizes that's automatic in 24 months. In 2026, what's that landscape? But while you can, you might as well make the most of it.
How much of that noise gets into your football program? Realignment? I mean, obviously yours is a different place. But Air Force has mentioned, I mean, pick a league and they've been aligned to them, but that's been going on forever. Does that noise get into your program at all?
Jeff, when you're taking 21 semester hours,
I knew the answer.
You have all your military obligations and the whole bit. Let's be real. It's no different in our freshmen right now, what they're experiencing in the middle of basic training. You're just working on taking the next step.
Yeah. Air Force's football coach is Troy Calhoun. The sustained success you've had is remarkable. And you're doing it so differently than everybody else in this room. As the game has changed, as the landscape has changed, as just college athletics, how much can you evolve at Air Force and how much have you been able to evolve?
You have to. I mean, just whether it's a drill that you use in practice to change up some times during a practice, maybe in the way you do a walkthrough. I mean, you're forever looking to evolve and adapt and adjust. It's a must. And you hope some of those learning lessons carry forth for our guys once they go to active duty, too.
Troy, is you recruit now with the NIL, with the portal, with the flexibility that student athletes have, and Air Force is a different spot. Has recruiting gotten different over the last, let's just say, 2 years?
Well, it has. I mean, it's much, much more difficult, obviously, because we have zero when it comes to NIL. The other part is maybe if you're a little light at a few positions, you have zero ability to bring in transfers to help add to that depth. And yet still, you have to be at least a 3.5 student. We are test mandatory where you have to be over 1,200 on the SAT or 25 on the ACT, and you have to be willing to serve, which less than 1% of those that live in our country serve for our armed forces. So it's very difficult.
Is it sustainable to compete at the high level? And you've done it so well for so long. And as you look down the runway in front of you, how realistic is to say Air Force can continue to be at the top of this league competitively in any sport?
Yeah, no. I realistically, no. I mean, you look at the number of factors that you discuss with no NIL, where guys can still leave the academy, enter the transfer portal, and depart. You can't bring any undergraduate, no graduate students. No. But can there be maybe a season or two out of 12 to 15 years where you can be competitive and maybe have a winning season or perhaps get in a bowl game? Yeah, once in a while.
Your fan base understand that? I mean, everybody wants to win every week, every game, every year, right? Does the fan base understand that? Have you felt it?
I don't think it matters, from the standpoint that's what's relevant is we got to get our young men and young women at the United States. We got to get them ready to lead, to serve as officers for our country.
It's Troy Calhoun with us for a few more minutes, the Air Force coach. How's your football team? You've been really good for the last bunch of years.
I don't know. I think, and we both chuckle. I mean, you have one returning starter back on offense. You have 3 returning starters on defense. We're going to be as new as maybe anybody's been in college football in a long time.
You look around the room, you got Broncos got 60 new players. Ken Niumatalolo's got 49 new players. And I guess everybody's saying, I just don't know. And go ahead. They sent me a thing to vote on the poll. I opted not to because I just don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know.
Well, it's true. I mean, there is more turnover. And candidly, that's going to continue to be the case as we move forward. Now, do I think that's a bad thing? I don't. And I say that from the standpoint it's no different if a guy leaves the Air Force Academy and transfers somewhere else. We live in the United States of America, where if I'm a writer for one, news source and I want to go to another, you should be allowed to. We see coaches that move from job to job because they feel like one opportunity is better than another. But players should too. We aren't in a country where you control your labor. In fact, if anything, you respect the human beings, and it just makes you create an environment where they want to be there, and that's not a bad thing.
I think that's right. You've, for years, looked across once a year, played Navy, saw Ken Niumatalolo over there. Is it going to be weird to see him at San Jose State and in a different place? He's a heck of a coach coming to this league.
Oh, I mean, the addition, the quality of human being. And, Jeff, I mean, when you and I are hanging out together in 2055 and we look back and say, how about that guy, that job he did at Navy? As the years pass, we're going to realize how extraordinary it truly was.
They're going to say that about Troy Calhoun at Air Force as well. What the two of you were able to sustain, and you're still doing it at an academy with the restrictions, and the restrictions isn't the right word, with the circumstances in which you have to operate, it's been remarkable.
Well, I don't want to look back on yesterday. Not yet. I mean, it's just too much.
No, I said in 2055.
There's too much. No, I'm going against what I just did. But you know what? We just want to make the most of today. How grateful we are to have the purpose with the enthusiasm and the sheer drive to try to make the most of our current situation. We owe that to our players, to our coaches, our staff members, and that's exactly what we want to do. You know what? We're fired up to do it, too.
And you always have been. Troy Calhoun, Air Force's head coach. Lobos and Air Force play. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I know you play. It's October 12th. Bronco Mendenhall is the head coach there. And I remember way back when I started this game, and Rocky Long was the head coach at New Mexico. I remember you telling me, man, that they're just such a physical team. And Bronco comes from that tree. The addition for our audience, and I know they'd love another perspective, what Bronco Mendenhall does for that program that's been struggling for the better part of 2 decades.
I think what's so key at a place like New Mexico is to have somebody that has an appreciation for the area, for Albuquerque, for the university, and for the football program. And really, if you're looking for some longer haul success, and the job Rocky Long did, I mean, absolutely amazing. I think Danny put a heck of a foundation in place too. And, you look at how unique it is, just because you do have to, get a good number of your players from outside the area, but you have to believe in the area. And what a fabulous area to live in terms of Albuquerque and what New Mexico has to offer. And this staff will make the most of it too.
Yeah, lastly, I want your thoughts on what a bowl game means. And I'm wearing my other hat now as a bowl director, but you've been to many. And I swear one day I'm getting you down to ours. But, realistically, is everybody in here playing for one of those 12 spots? I mean, I imagine everybody thinks they're going to get 1 or 2 losses by October. And what are you playing for? And what does a bowl game mean to your young men?
Jeff, I'll tell you this. Whenever that is, whether that's in the next year or if it's in 20 years, the next time Air Force gets to a bowl game, it will be a remarkable achievement by our team. And, just where we are, how difficult, how challenging, the steep of the incline, it's why we just need to make the most of today. And yet at the same time, we need to be grateful we live where we do, in this area of the country. And specifically, as you and I talk right here, I mean, the phenomenal, just the heartfelt support from the state of New Mexico for our men and women who serve, whether it's at Cannon, it's in Albuquerque at Kirtland Air Force Base, it's down in Alamogordo at Holloman Air Force Base, to tie way back to the history of the Air Force. There was a movie made a year or two ago about, unfortunately, but it was something that had to be done to end World War II. I just want to make sure we share that, because, just the class and the decency of the people in New Mexico, our men and women feel that.
I know that's going to be appreciated. I always appreciate you. I'll strut up to you at midfield at an Air Force game somewhere about late October, early November to come shake your hand and see you like I do annually. Have a great season. Always appreciate it.
Appreciate that, Jeff.
Love for the state. I don't know why it struck me, and maybe it shouldn't have. He knew, all the bases where they were. They felt the appreciation. Is that something that shouldn't have struck me like it did in New Mexico?
Well, it's a reminder, if he needed one. Like, Troy Calhoun's an Air Force guy.
Yeah.
He knows where his guys are going. I'm sure he could probably name off a lot more.
Yeah.
Bases all around the world.
Yeah, that's probably right.
But what he said was true. Yeah. And I can't wait. The Air Force is playing in the Isleta, New Mexico.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. You can respond to that. Troy was in a really reflective mood, and I don't know what that meant. It was a little different, Troy Calhoun, although a lot of the same, but, talks about what they do. I remember when I asked him the question about if it seeps into your program, and I remember him looking at me. I knew the answer. He said, Jeff, the stuff our guys go through, 21 units and the military stuff, like, they don't care. And I knew the answer. But it was more so, does it seep into the program? Do you guys talk about it? But he was good. He always is. All right, I want to reset when we get back. There's a lot of stuff going on this morning. I want to talk about the no-hitter in baseball yesterday. Dodger fan, we still need to get into what Clayton Kershaw looked like yesterday in his return. It's the opening drive, 505-246-0610 if you want to come in on 95.9 FM and AM 610, Sports Center.
Dirty Boys present Fill in the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Probably, I think within the hours when it starts. There was an attack on the French railways. The high-speed train lines that go throughout France were targeted by malicious attacks, including arson. It's been described as a coordinated sabotage. But and there's like 800,000 travelers around the country who were stranded. Cables and lines were ripped apart, fires. I mean, this is a big deal. But the opening ceremonies will go on, or at least they say they will, and they're going to get started here very shortly, and the Olympics will be underway. Hey, baseball was big yesterday. So, we've been talking about scholarship limits, JJ, in football. I'm so stoked for Dylan Cease that there was no pitch limit on him, at least not at like 100 yesterday. He's the Padres pitcher who was at 94 pitches through 7 innings. And he was throwing a no-hitter, and they let him go. And he struck out 9, walked 3. His third complete game and his first no-hitter. And it was really cool to watch. It's the second no-hitter in the history of Major League Baseball. I'm sorry, of Padres baseball, Major League Baseball, of Padres baseball. And I always wonder, man, and you know where I am on pitch limits, and I always wonder, these guys are in so much better shape, yet they throw so many fewer innings and they get more injuries than dudes back in the day, and I don't totally understand it. And if a guy throws a couple more innings or a few more pitches, is it really going to hurt him down the line? And this is a guy who's having an unbelievable season. Like an unbelievable
the answer to that
season.
question. It's changed. Maybe we don't know exactly why, but the pitchers are getting hurt more than they were. Maybe back then they were able to pitch through more things.
I don't know.
Because when your velocity was 87 and your elbow hurt, you didn't care.
As opposed to 98.
87 now, you're not throwing 96, you got a problem.
Fair enough.
So I do appreciate the fact that this is something he wanted. And the story with his last missed no-hitter.
Yeah, and Luis Alvarez.
And when he was with the Chicago White Sox, it's broken up in the 9th inning.
So good.
And so Luis Arias, who...
Arias.
Was with Minnesota at the time, was in Miami, and then was recently acquired by the Padres.
Such a good story.
Is on the Padres. So he broke up his last no-hitter, so Cease goes out there, gets it done, and then Arias goes and hands him the game ball.
Such a good story. So what JJ just told you. I mean, he when he was with the White Sox, Dylan Cease was 1 out away, and Luis Arias got a base hit and broke up his no-hitter. The same guy who broke up his last no-hitter was his right fielder yesterday, and the guy who caught the final out and brought him the ball for the no-hitter.
He wasn't the guy who caught the ball.
The right fielder? No. Arias?
He was on the bench.
I thought it was the guy who caught the ball. All right, then I was wrong. All right. The fact that
he went and handed him the ball after the game, and I like everything you said. There's pitching is different. It can be frustrating, and I think it makes sense at times to not worry about something you do in May or June to be ready for the second half of the season. But this is something he wanted.
Yeah.
He wasn't struggling. It didn't look bad. His teammates were behind
him.
The
velocity was still
there. He went
there.
to his manager. Yeah. It's like, no, I'm good. Let's keep going. And you love to see that.
And they let him go. And it meant so much to him. I mean, you could just tell what it meant. And this is a dude who, I mean, he's having an insane season. Just an insane season. It was really cool. Also yesterday in the bigs, a guy named Clayton Kershaw was back. And he was solid. He said it meant a lot. It meant a lot. He went 4 innings for the Dodgers yesterday. And Dodgers were winners again. They beat the Giants. But I wonder if it's much emotion. Like, Clayton Kershaw's a Hall of Famer. Clayton Kershaw's not going to be that dude again. But he went 4 innings. He gave up 6 hits, and he gave up 2 earned runs. And the Dodgers beat the Giants 6-4. He used 8 pitchers yesterday, 7 pitchers yesterday. That's baseball. That's certainly Dave Roberts baseball, isn't it? You're our 5th inning guy, you're our 6th inning guy, you're our 7th inning guy, and that's how it goes. They were really encouraged by it. If they continue to get healthy, they're going to be really good. I don't know if they're better than the Phillies, and we'll see when we get there. But if they continue to get healthier,
they are good.
They are good. Are they good enough to beat the Phillies now? They're not. They're good enough to win that division. But as they get everybody back, they're almost like the Cowboys to me in some respects. Now, they did win one, so they won the COVID World Series. But, JJ, this is the team that wins the division every year. They're the Atlanta Braves of the 90s, right? They win the division every year, and they've won 1 World Series.
Okay. Well, how many teams have won multiple World Series over the last few years?
None is the answer. But they're constructed with that payroll to go out and...
They're not the only ones.
But it's hard, man. No, I know how hard it is.
There's a few more wild card outliers in that sport. With like the Nationals came through and won.
Yeah.
You know that, Scherzer and Strasburg.
Well, hell, you had a year the Royals won, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. I think I understand what we do in sports, how we react to sports fans, but to sit here and feel bad about only winning one championship, sometimes I wonder, like, do we even understand how hard it is to win in sports and that everyone is trying to win?
I do. Yeah, no, I absolutely do.
Like, there's been 6 different NBA champions last 6 years. Should all those teams that didn't repeat feel terrible?
No, and I kind of like it that way, to be honest with you. I do. I kind of like it that way. I know people love dynasties, and there's a big argument. People tell me all the time, oh, it's better when there's a dynasty. I'm not sure I believe that. In fact, I would disagree with that. I think it expands your fan base when Royal fan says, yeah, we can win every now and then, or Jaguar fan says we can win now and then. Or Orlando Magic fan has a little bit of hope because they were the 3rd seed in the East. Or were they 4th seed? Whatever it was, right? But now all of a sudden 5? Now they got some hope. But yeah. But I got a team with Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts at the top of the lineup. Holy smokes.
Well, and that's also, a sport where we watched a team with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani not even compete.
Yeah, by the way.
Different.
By the way, Mike Trout the other day came back. What did he last the game?
2 innings.
2 innings.
In Salt Lake.
Dude. I mean, he was the generational player. Is he going to be the biggest what if?
No. Because he's done it.
So is he done enough to be a Hall of Famer? Yeah. Like, let's say he's done today. He's done, which he's not. But is he done enough to be a Hall of Famer?
Like, he hasn't been able to have the postseason.
Right, none.
Postseason success.
Yeah.
Which elevates you.
It does.
But this isn't a guy I saw some people, like, oh, this is Greg Oden. No, he had a career.
A really good one, by the way.
Just not championship career. This wasn't a guy that played a year and busted out.
Okay. I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you on that.
It's more like Joel Embiid status.
I would say better than Joel Embiid status. Is Joel Embiid, if he quits, if he's done right now, is he a Hall of Famer? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't either. But you do think Mike Trout is, right? Yeah, I think he's had a better career than just more sustained than Joel Embiid. Just a lot of injuries at the back end. He's not that old. What is he? Early 30s now?
So he is going to turn 33. August
early
7th.
30s.
And I think you look at Mike Trout and you tip your cap, and he's been invested with the Angels. Dude, he's played 14 years. So this isn't just a flash in the pan what if. Like, the dude's played a lot of baseball. Now the last few years have not been good. And so it's almost his 14-year career is more like an 8-year career.
Right. Just numbers wise, yeah.
But still, you look at those 8 years, just unbelievable numbers. And this would be the moment, too. I would like to see it. I think Mike Trout, tip your cap, say thank you, get on a team where you're not the focal point.
With the Dodgers?
Go play for the Dodgers. Go play for the Yankees. At this point, like, go do it now.
Yeah.
Like, you've invested. We appreciate you, but go get your opportunity to play somewhere else where they're not building everything.
Because the Angels or the Chargers or the Clippers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
and
the Angels
your
did
body's
win.
showing you, like, you're not that dude.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't hate that. I honestly don't. All right, when we come back, tell me if you've heard this before. Georgia Bulldog football star arrested. Well, you're going to hear it again. Hey, have you been a victim of a home or business break-in? You know all too well that it takes hours, if not days, for police to respond. It's not because they're bad. They just don't have enough officers to cover all the calls they get for service. But when it's you, when it's your home, when it's your business, you need a quicker response. So how does 7 minutes or less sound? That's typically the response time for customers of International Protective Service. IPS has officers strategically placed around Albuquerque and now in Santa Fe so they can react quickly. Often, they catch criminals in the act. They detain those criminals and call police to come pick them up. IPS can also provide you standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock. They install alarms and camera systems, and they have a state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7 to raise the level of security around your home or your business. I have trusted IPS for years. They watch my home. They come by every day. When I travel, They come by a number of times a day. They'll pick up newspapers, mail, packages that are left on the porch, so you get them when you come home. So who's watching your house, your business, when you're away on summer vacation? Don't let it be the bad guys. A quick response to your alarm or standing guards at your business, it's what IPS does. You sleep better at night. Understanding you can't prevent all crime, but if you got no protection, you're more likely to be victimized. So here's their number. Give them a call at 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. International Protective Service is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, sure that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive?
Thank you for the reminder.
Oh, okay.
That would have gone right there.
I literally thought that's where you were going. Yeah, DC brought little DeCito in. He learned to ride a bike the other day. Yeah, that's a big deal. 505-246-0610. It's still Friday. We're still going to home. Gigi, what the hell's going on at Georgia? And I know they'll tell you whatever, we win. And they do, and so does it matter if you keep winning? Is it like every 2 months we hear one of their big players has been arrested for something? This morning, wide receiver Rodarius Thomas, who is expected to be a big part of what they do this year, arrested on multiple family violence charges. He's being held in the Athens-Clarke County Jail. Dude, so the charges are disturbing, violence. He's charged with cruelty to children, family violence, a second-degree felony, 2 misdemeanor counts of battery and family violence. He was jailed at 3:20 this morning, being held without bond. I don't want to convict this young man without, a trial. when you hear the charges, you're like, what are we doing? And it's the second time this young man has been arrested on family violence charges since he's transferred to Georgia from Mississippi State back in 2023. Back then, he was arrested by university police accused of felony false imprisonment because he allegedly confined and detained a person without legal authority by standing in front of the dorm, blocking the exit, telling her she cannot leave. He was also accused of misdemeanor battery because he allegedly did intentionally cause visible bodily harm by causing bruising to the right biceps and bruising and abrasion to her shins. That was out of the police report. And then this morning, the young man was arrested at 3:20 in the morning on battery and family violence. And there was a children's charge in there too. Not convicting him. It just feels like a regular thing coming here. But Jeff, they win. Jeff, but whatever. They're Georgia, they win. Oh, okay. You're right. Yeah, they do.
But at what cost? At some point in time, even in sport, when we overlook everything just for victories, because fans don't care about your GPA. Fans don't care about the community service you do. They don't. If you're winning, that's what it's all about. But for the university, it's embarrassing. I think in the last 2 years, there's been over 20 incidents involving motor vehicles, the racing charges.
What are we doing?
DUI. I think there's been 7 arrests in those cases. If you go back to, of course, right after they won the national championship, the accident that took 2 people's lives that were a part of that program. And that's a concerning trend. That's not just, here's a couple dudes. Yeah, we had 120 of them. Like, Kirby Smart needs to be looking around going, what are we doing? Like, because that's also just embarrassing.
What if the answer is winning? What if the answer is we're winning?
But and a little bit at what cost? Like, then don't ever tell me that you're there to make people better. This is why you love college football, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Because this is...
I'm not arguing with you, man. I look...
everything you just read off, I don't need to wait on anything. I'm like, that dude's got issues.
Well, I mean, you do, because...
Not really.
I don't have any details, and I know what the charges
he's
No, I know.
with already, and he's probably... And guess what? He's in this position because he's a talented football player.
100%.
Probably got plenty of help to get over things that he probably should have actually faced tougher consequences for. And at some point, if you're that athletic or the university president, okay, you're winning, but that's just absolutely embarrassing.
It's beyond embarrassing. You know, Eddie Nunez was with us.
People should matter a little bit.
I agree. Eddie Nunez was with us, the athletic director at UNM, at 8:30 this morning, and we'll be able to post that, correct? And if so,
every hour is up every day.
Yeah,
OD podcast.
It's all there on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Wherever you get your podcasts, put in the opening drive, and please go back and listen to some of that stuff. And Eddie talked about some of the great things. He says our GPA is the best it's ever been, and we lead the league, or we're second to San Diego State now in overall championships by 1. And I think all that's great because that's the mission, and Eddie should tout that. And I know it matters to the people inside the department, and I believe it matters to the people inside the university. And it should matter because what's on the front? The University of New Mexico, it's still a university. You're still about educating and making people better, theoretically. And so I appreciate Eddie saying, well, look at our GPA and look at what we're doing in the community, and all that matters. But does it matter to Joe's six-pack fan? Joey Bag of Donuts is over there, or Tommy Tortilla is eating tacos, and does he care? Yeah, but they were 4-8 last year, and they were 2-10 the year before in football. And right? That's what matters. Why are you laughing at me?
That's going to be my creative player quarterback.
Who?
On College Football 25, Tommy Tortilla.
Tommy Tortilla? Yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah,
my road to glory player.
Play him in the Isleta New Mexico Bowl on College Football 2020. By the way, I heard the EA Sports game's unbelievable.
Yeah, I playing it last weekend. It's the presentation, the gameplay. It is such a great game to have back.
I was just with K-Dog from one of our FM stations. I was just walking down the hall. He's like, dude, I was playing the New Mexico Bowl on. It looks great. The stadium looks great. And I remember I told you this about year and a half ago when I was in Nashville, when we were talking about this is coming and we okayed the marks, and you kind of okay a lot of what comes through because we control obviously the Isleta New Mexico Bowl marks. But I've heard the game is insane. Like I kind of want to play, but I don't have a PlayStation. What do I have to have? An Xbox or a PlayStation?
Well, on this one, PS5 or Xbox S or X.
So I've got codes on both of them. I've got a code to go play. I just don't have, and I don't want to go buy. I don't know if I told you this. This is how long ago I was married when this happened. My ex-wife bought me I don't know if it was an Xbox or PlayStation for Christmas, and we returned it. She's like, I just bought this for you. I'm like, I just don't want to. I know my personality. Like I'd have been the guy at 2 a.m. still playing one more, and then I got to get up in 2 hours. I know me better than that, and so I sent it back. I never played it.
Smart.
Yeah, I just know me better. I'm not telling you they're not fun because obviously they are.
Oh yeah, I've been playing a lot of the EA Sports Road to the Masters. Just completed 3rd round of the Masters.
Really?
6 shots back though.
So you play all the holes at the Masters?
Oh yeah.
How cool is that?
Playing my career mode, went through. I'm playing all the
Have you played Pebble yet? You gotta go play Pebble Beach for crying out loud. After you play Augusta, don't you?
Yeah, well, it's set up as the exact calendar of the PGA Tour, so you follow it.
So
I'm at the Masters right now. I qualified for the Masters.
The West Coast Tour is before the Masters.
I don't think I played Pebble though.
Really?
I just don't know if it was.
You played Torrey Pines?
Yeah.
Look at you. I haven't played any. Oh, I played
Chambers
Pebble.
Bay.
Look at you.
That's a fun game.
See, and again, I would just
about 18 holes. It takes about half hour.
I would lose hours of my life, days of my life, and I love it. I respect it. I know how detrimental it would be to my life.
That's usually why I don't go to bed till 11:30.
Yeah, no, I know how detrimental it would be. All right, 505-246-0610. We're gonna and we're gonna wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go into your big weekend when we come back. But I want to tell you first about the Albuquerque Convention Center and the event space they have, and it as an event venue. And this isn't just for conventions and big out-of-town events. Locally, when you're thinking about an event, and whether it's a luncheon, a gathering, a reception, a wedding reception, a celebration, they have got unbelievable space that will take care of big to gigantic, small to big to gigantic gatherings. They've got over 600,000 square foot of indoor and outdoor meeting space that's flexible. It's right in the heart of downtown Albuquerque. It's diverse. It's everything that you can imagine and then more. They got intimate meeting settings, big gatherings, grand expos, conferences, and staff and service and food and beverage options to go above and beyond. Your event will be a dream event, and everybody will love it. So when you're thinking about getting people together, whatever it is, they've got a parking garage right off of Martin Luther King Jr. that's directed to the facility. It's easy in and out. They got the east and west sky bridge that connects the two buildings. They've got ballrooms and exhibit halls and lobby space and foyer space, and it's walking distance to most stuff in downtown. Think about the convention center. You got a big holiday party coming up. You're like, Jeff, it's July. I get it. Book now for your holiday party coming up in December. Call them at 505-768-4575. Get the information. Be at the center of it all. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. They're online at albuquerquecc.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light and shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight.
Give me a hoe if you got your funky bus fare.
Damn, those were good. That's why you waited till the end, dude. I'm out of breath. Those were Olympic-sized hose.
It was.
All right. So, opening drive. The whole opening drive. Jeff, JJ, happy Friday to you. What people are going to be talking about? What do you got to know as you go into your weekend? The Olympics start. The opening ceremony. They might even be going on now. I don't know. Watch what's going on with Canada and their drone and their soccer team. What the hell? I mean, it's just weird story after weird story coming out of there. There's been an attack on the train system, the high-speed rail system in France, targeting their trains as the Olympics get started. People have been talking about the no-hitter. Dylan Cease threw a no-hitter yesterday for the San Diego Padres. Second no-hitter in team history. Clayton Kershaw was back. He threw 4 innings for the Dodgers yesterday. And the Cowboys talked about their future. Jared talked about, the reason Mike McCarthy wasn't extended as head coach was 2 words, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, the quarterback, talked about, maybe I will be somewhere else next year. All the other great quarterbacks are getting paid. I'm watching them play elsewhere. All right, then. What else are people going to be talking about as we go through the weekend? Anything else I missed? Global football camp's open. It's a big deal. We're inside a month before they open up against Montana State. And this kind of interested me a little bit. Falcons training camp, they're splitting reps at quarterback Michael Penix for the second team reps. So Kirk Cousins is your guy. Who will end up being the backup if Kirk Cousins goes down and just gets knocked out of a game? Who do they go? They go the bullpen. They bring in Tyler Heineke or they bring in Michael Penix.
Michael Penix.
You think that's where that's going to end up?
Yep.
Okay. I think you're right. I think you're right. Of all the rookie quarterbacks, and there's 5 first-round guys, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's McCarthy and Nix and Penix and Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. Is that 5 that I named right off the top? I'm really, everybody wants to see Caleb Williams, and we're going to see plenty of Caleb Williams, and I think we're going to see plenty of Jaden Daniels. I'm really interested to see Michael Penix, and it may take a year or 2 before I get to see Michael Penix. And he may be the guy that goes the Jordan Love route, right? That sits behind a veteran for a couple of years, which, by the way, used to be the way it was done. But I'm excited. He's a guy I really want to see if he can play in this league.
Yeah, and I think that when you see where he went, even with Atlanta giving Kirk Cousins a lot of money for 2 years with questions with Achilles and Penix going before McCarthy and Nix. There was he was that next tier up to the top 3.
I really want to see that. Gopher says better late ho than a no ho. Yeah, no, it was a ho a little bit later. David's in on the Dodgers. They won one, lost another one, and were cheated out of winning another one, and have won the division how many 8 times in the last 10 years? I'm a fan of both, and don't compare them to the Cowboys. Cowboys haven't even made the NFC Championship in 29 years. Fair enough. If that wasn't a good comparison, I can eat that. I might be right. Text line, morning fellas. Man, that slip of the tongue was great. Clayton Kershaw. As a lifelong LA Dodger fan, that was awesome. Thanks, Jeff. It's from John in the Duke City. You're welcome, but I didn't do it on purpose. Did I say Curtin Clayshaw? I think I did. Steve from Michigan says someone who needs to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Well, this is interesting. Lou Whitaker played for the Tigers in the 80s and 90s. He was the second baseman on that Tiger team that beat the Padres in the 84 World Series. I'd have to look at his numbers a little bit more to let you know I agree or disagree. He for me, just on surface, he's borderline. He was really good, though. Kind of reminds me, when I get time, and I won't do it now, but Steve, if you want to do it for me, compare his numbers to, he reminds me a lot of another second baseman of that era, Willie Randolph, who played for the Yankees in that era. I'd love to see their numbers side by side. Can I vent, Jeffy? I don't know. That's what I'm here for, I guess. Gopher. Last weekend, I stopped at the store down the street from the OD studio to get chocolate milk. A quart was $3.09. A year ago, it was $1.50. Feel better? If you feel better, then I'm glad I read it. We're just the psychiatrists, right? That's all we are. Like when football season starts, Monday mornings, we're just here for you. Aggie fan. I think we got this nailed down. Tony Sanchez is going to be with us. We're going to open the show. Are you all right with that? I haven't even talked to you about this. You okay? We're going to open the shows on Tuesdays with Tony Sanchez?
Those Aggie coaches like to get in and get out.
Yeah. He's got special teams meetings at 7:15 and meetings the rest of the way. So, literally, we'll have I'll give you the Monday Night Football scores. But really, all the takes on Monday Night Football, whatever happened, will come after that. Tuesday morning, 7:00 during football season, it'll be Aggie coach Tony Sanchez. I know that's not the ideal time, but that's where we can fit him in. I'm going to take it. You all right with that? I didn't really talk to you about this.
I'm sure Tony would think of the game last night.
Yeah, we can do that too. Yeah, I was just watching film. I believe Bronco Mendenhall, and I don't have a time yet, but I believe he's going to be with us every Monday morning. And Jerry Palm, I believe, is going to be back with us on Thursdays. We were getting Lobo football players on Thursdays, which is good. Dude, we're like a month away from all that, which just accelerates my life exponentially, by the way. We get football next Thursday, a week from yesterday. There's a football game, right? Hall of Fame game?
Yes.
Bears and Texans? 1st. Bears and Texans, I believe. This is your last weekend without... No, well, yeah, if you count Thursday, this is your last weekend without football till February. Boys? Girls? What do you think? All right. This French sabotage, this coordinated sabotage, this attack on their trains is fascinating to me right now. And it the more I'm reading about it, the more it freaks you out. But that's a big deal. Hours before the Summer Olympics, torch rally ended, the train system was attacked. So we'll watch that as well. All right, what do you got this weekend? Swim lessons, or what do you got?
Who knows?
United's on the road.
Having some fun.
Well, United's on the road in El Paso. El Paso's the bottom of the table. United's at the top of the table. One where you think they should win.
Bus go down there.
Yeah, I think they got a couple of buses going down there that they sold out. Oh, yeah. The sport's been great for them since they started, but certainly this is the first year where you're not worried about are they going to make the playoffs. I mean, they're in, and now it's are they going to win this whole thing? Like they're realistic contenders to win the whole thing. And you get a rivalry game down there, and I know a lot of people are excited about that. Isotopes are home this weekend against Round Rock. You get green chili cheeseburger day tomorrow, JJ. We're going to go out for that. We like green chili cheeseburger day. We like these special theme days. We're suckers for that. We're those lemons that they market to. Thanks to Eddie Nunez. He was with us today. The athletic director at the University of New Mexico stopped by for a few minutes. Troy Calhoun is the Air Force coach. Appreciate his time as well. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4 o'clock. Then you get Isotopes and Round Rock Express. We're back with award-winning radio on Monday, starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great week. Appreciate it. I know next week's a big week for ProView Networks with the Connie Mack World Series, but it looks great. Big weekend for you, huh?
Huge.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Have a great, safe weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like and shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got...